This is the DJI Air 3S and these are the two cameras of it. It has a 24mm wide angle lens and a 17mm tele lens. For a very long time I barely used the tele lens because I didn't understand the power of a tele lens in combination with a drone. That has changed completely. Why? I'm going to tell you later, but we have to go outside for this. When I bought my first drone with a telephoto lens, I honestly didn't use it very much. I thought, why should I? A drone can fly closer to a subject whenever I want, so why should I need a lens that simply zooms in? But over the time I realized something. The biggest advantage of a tele lens isn't the zoom, it's the way it completely changes the feeling of a shot. In this video I will show you why a telephoto lens can make your drone footage look much more cinematic and why it's one of my favorite features on the DJI Air 3S. Let's start with the obvious benefit. A tele lens lets you capture subjects that you can't or don't want to fly close to. Maybe there are obstacles, maybe you want to keep your distance, or maybe it's simply not possible to get any closer. But that's actually not why I love using it. The real magic is what it does to the background. It can make mountains look bigger, landscapes feel more dramatic and completely change the mood of a shot. Let me show you what I mean. Here's the same scene filmed with the wide angle lens. I'm in the center of the frame. You can see lots of sky, lots of landscape, and the mountains look relatively small. Now here's almost the exact same shot with the 3x tele lens. I'm still the same size in the frame, but look at the background. The mountains suddenly feel much larger, much closer and far more impressive. The whole image has a completely different character. So why does this happen? The interesting part is that the tele lens itself doesn't change the perspective. The two things that matter are your distance to the subject and the field of view of the lens. A wide angle lens captures a very large part of the scene. To keep myself in the frame, I have to fly relatively close to my subject. Let's say I'm about 10 meters away while the mountains are around 1000 meters behind me. Because I'm so close, the background appears small and distant. Now I switch to the tele lens. To keep the same framing, I have to fly much farther away, let's say around 100 meters. The mountains are still about 1000 meters away, but now the relationship between me and the background has changed. On top of that, the tele lens has a much narrower field of view. Instead of seeing the entire mountain range, I'm only seeing a small part of it. That's why the mountains appear much larger, denser and more dramatic. This effect is often called background compression, and it's one of the biggest reasons teleshots feel so cinematic. Why is this especially powerful on drones? This effect becomes even more impressive with drones because they can move in ways that handheld cameras simply can't. I can fly much farther away from my subject while keeping the same exact framing. I can also move sidewards, upwards or backwards very smoothly. Combined with the tele lens, those movements create a completely different feeling. Another thing that you will notice is that the background seems to move much faster, even though the drone is flying at the same exact speed. That's because the tele lens only shows a much smaller portion of the scene, so every movement fills more of the frame. The result feels more dynamic, more cinematic and often much more expensive than a typical wide-angle drone shot. So when do I use wide and when do I use tele? What I just told you doesn't mean that I always use the tele lens. Most of my shots are still filmed with the wide-angle camera. It's perfect for showing scale, speed and large landscapes. But whenever I want to isolate a subject, create a stronger emotional impact or make a landscape feel more dramatic, I almost always switch to the telelens. It's one of the easiest ways to make your drone footage stand out. For me, that's the real reason to own a drone with a telelens. It's not about getting closer to your subject, it's about creating a completely different visual style. So if your drone has a telelens, don't just use it for zooming. Experiment with the distance, compare it to your wide-angle shots and see how much the feeling of your footage changes. If you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe to my channel to don't miss out any of my upcoming videos. So, thank you very much for watching this and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.